Hello, and welcome to the second episode of On Target, a sports news top five series where I run down my top five sports news stories of the past couple weeks. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, at number five, we're going to talk about a sport that really does not get the love it deserves. No pun intended, and that is tennis. So, the Australian Open happened recently, and Jannik Sinner won the Australian Open at 22 years old. He is the first Italian with that Grand Slam title and only the second player younger than 23 in the Open era to win a Grand Slam final from 2 sets down. Yep, he was 2 sets down from his opponent, who did have the upper leg because his opponent has been to the Australian Open final 3 times, and it was his sixth time playing for a Grand Slam title. So he definitely had a little bit of experience, but ultimately Sinner was able to get the win not only for him, but for his hometown as well. At number four, we have some controversy that's going around in the NFL with Comeback Player of the Year. So basically, if you don't know, the NFL honors happen after the 2020 or happen after the NFL season. And it's like awards from like team awards or player awards like offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, and comeback player of the year. Well, the candidates this year are Joe Flacco, who is the Browns quarterback, Damar Hamlin, who is the Bills safety, Baker Mayfield, the Bucks quarterback, Matthew Stafford, the Rams quarterback, and Tua Tagovailoa, the Dolphins quarterback. Now, people are talking, especially some Jets fans, because it seems to be that there have been a couple of players, specifically one, who have been left out of this nomination process. A lot of Jets fans and football fans are upset that Breece Hall was not named as a candidate for Comeback Player of the Year because he suffered an ACL injury in October, was able to come back and put up incredible numbers. He had the most receptions by a running back this year and the most receiving yards by a running back this year, fourth in the NFL in all purpose yards, and 13th in the NFL in rushing yards. So he definitely put up the numbers to prove his case. Unfortunately, he kind of just missed the cut, I guess. But yeah, so a lot of people are talking about that, and a lot of people are talking about if Damar Hamlin should win. Now, it is weird because all of the nominees are quarterbacks except for Damar Hamlin. And Joe Flacco, who is nominated for this award, said that Damar Hamlin should win because Damar Hamlin did not only face physical obstacles but also the mental obstacles. Of course, coming back from that life threatening injury that he had in 2023, he played 3 games this season, and it was definitely a big hurdle to even get on the field. So, Joe Flacco believes Damar Hamlin should take this one home. A lot of NFL fans feel the same way, but you can really go either way. I don't know. Because you can say that Baker Mayfield, also deserves this award because he made a better name for himself, coming from the Browns and how he played and now established himself with the Bucks. So that's happening in the NFL. At number three, we have women's basketball, which is taking a turn in the sports world, specifically Ole Miss women's basketball. Now, women's sports have literally just been taking or just have been going through an upcoming and have been making a statement in the sports world with the new hockey league, professional hockey league for women. Obviously, soccer has been a big thing for a while, but especially basketball now has gotten a lot of attention. Girls like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, who have put women's basketball out there. Now, Ole Miss women's basketball is not really getting the same respect. The women's coach for the basketball team spoke on a press conference recently and said that she just feels that Ole Miss and Oxford as a community isn't really getting the respect that it deserves. She says because women's sports is on an uptake, she feels like the community in Oxford should kind of be like catching up to where the world is right now, and they've kind of taken a step back. Now, the Ole Miss basketball team did lose close to $8.4 million in profits to their program. Um, Compared to the football team or even the men's basketball team, this is huge because they're losing money instead of gaining money. Now, in terms of like resources and stuff like that, the coach really does believe that if they were given the same resources and equipment as all of the other men's teams do, they would have brought in thousands of dollars to the program. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And we've seen that a lot in women's sports. Not treated fairly, like with training facilities, things like that, transportation. So, really, they want Ole Miss basketball to be put on the high rise and kind of just the Ole Miss community to kind of just like step it up with women's sports because they feel like so many other schools and so many other programs are getting so much attention around their women's sports, not just basketball, but Ole Miss kind of hasn't really done that. So that's what's going on. At number three, going back to the NFL, we have Jim Harbaugh, who is the new coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Jim Harbaugh recently won the college national championship with Michigan this year. His older brother is the Baltimore Ravens coach. And now his next step is a Super Bowl, hopefully. That's what he wants, and that's why he's coming back to the NFL. He was previously in the NFL from 2011 to 2014. He was the 49ers head coach. Then from there on went to Michigan, but now he's back and he wants to win another championship, but this time in the professional league. So that will be interesting, especially since the Chargers are in a tough division. The AFC West has been pretty much dominated for the past couple of years by the Chiefs. So it's going to be a really interesting journey for the Chargers and to see where they end up in 2024. But they do have a lot of potential. Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, guys who may be a little bit underrated. But yeah, definitely have the stuff and have potential to take the team to a championship. And at number one, the biggest story that everybody is talking about is the Super Bowl. The 49ers and Chiefs will play in the Super Bowl this year, which will be in Las Vegas. The 49ers beat the Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship on Sunday, 34 to 31, and the Chiefs beat the Ravens in the AFC Championship 17 to 10. Now the Chiefs are back in the Super Bowl for the second year in a row, hoping to win back to back. But the 49ers have been dominant all season. They have really proved their mark, especially on Sunday, coming back. They scored 27 points in the second half to take the lead, and they only won by 3. So it definitely proves the kind of team that 49ers want. The 49ers were this whole entire season. And yeah, it's going to be a really interesting game. Yeah, so we'll see where that is on Sunday. So that ends this episode of On Target. Thank you guys so much for watching, and you'll hear from me soon. Bye.